A new breed of cucks, same as the old. It was actually Trumplicans who coined the term cuckservative, which was intended to mean, of course, any conservative / Republican who didn't get aboard the Trump train.
Come on! Nice and easy! Don't look down! That's it! You're doing fine!
Let's see, to my mind, the term cuckservative applies far better to Trumplicans themselves. Because think about it. Somebody from outside the party, an interloper, an enemy, someone who does not believe what we believe, a member of the other side, invaded our party and has raped and pillaged everything that we believe in. And Trump supporters have not only fought against it, they have facilitated it, they have embraced it, and they are cheering him on. You know the expression, lie back and enjoy it? That's what Trumplicans have done and continue to do. And that, my friends, is the textbook definition of a cuckservative. And now their ranks are continuing to grow, as Jay Caruso points out at Red State today. In the annals of the 2016 election, there has emerged a number of Trump supporters who can be placed into different groups. Not all people who will vote for Trump are the same. There is a tendency to lump, although they do have commonalities, such as they're all voting for Trump, there is a tendency to lump all Trump supporters together, and well, I don't think it's quite as much of a mistake as Jay Caruso does, but I can see what he's saying here. People's motives for voting differ. I don't find some of those arguments persuasive, particularly the notion that I should only cast a vote for a candidate who has the chance to win. That said, if people are content with whatever rationale they came up with, that's their business. The problem arises when those same people try to project their rationale, well, force it on others, as well as their choices. The hardcore Trump supporters, aka Trumpkins, Trumpers, Trump humpers, Trump bots, Trumplicans, branch Trumpidians, are the worst of the lot. They are the ones who have been aboard the proverbial, here we go again, Trump train.
Come on! Nice and easy! Don't look down! That's it! You're doing fine!
Since the start, they have moved into the category of cultists because they will defend anything he says. They're the super ultra mega uber cucks. They excuse any flip-flop and they will rationalize any nonsense that spews forth from his mouth. They're the ones with Trump banners in their Twitter profile, photos of themselves wearing Make America Great Again trucker hats, and the ones who are sent into a semi-orgasmic state whenever Trump yells about Mexico paying for his beautiful wall. Another group are those who got on board to support Trump after or because he is the GOP nominee, and stopping Hillary with another liberal Democrat is all that matters, even if the Republican candidate has a record of donations and public positions that rival most Northeastern liberal Democrats. By his own profession, Douglas V. Gibbs puts himself in this category. I find their rationale absurd, and I do begrudge their point of view, because they should know better. Conservatives such as other conservatives, or ex-conservatives, such as Hugh Hewitt, Dennis Prager, Kurt Schlichter, and actor Nikki Searcy are among this group. For the most part, there is mere disagreement between them and those who consider themselves part of the Never Trump faction. The newest breed of Trump supporters is pretty much in that second category. I don't really see why this would be a third, or merit a separate third category. Are those who have said for some time they are part of Never Trump, but for whatever reason they sold out. Convinced themselves they need to vote for it, which is completely irrational. They sold out. They sold out. Period, exclamation point. Their motivation is similar to that of the resigned Trump supporters, but are late to the game, which doesn't make any sense. Why sell out now if you've held out this long? It's disappointing. For the longest time, they were happy to carry the banner of Never Trump. The key word is never. Ever. The word means at no time in the past or future, on no occasion, not ever, or not at all. Apparently for some, such as Brad Thor and most recently radio talk show host Mark Levin, never means most likely. In doing so, they are joining the chorus of the second group of Trump supporters who justified their decision by telling others of the horrors of a Hillary Clinton presidency. Dennis Prager recently wrote a piece for National Review where he argues the following, quote, "We differ on this. We hold that defeating Hillary Clinton, the Democrats, and the left is also a principle, even with another left-wing Democrat candidate with an R after his name, which makes no sense. And it is the greater principle. It's no principle at all, actually. Obviously, Never Trumpers do not believe that. Damn right. On the contrary, some of the most thoughtful Never Trumpers, I'm holding up my hand, repeatedly tell us that the nation can survive 4 years of Hillary Clinton Democrat rule. And then they say conservatism will have cleansed itself and be able to take back the nation after 4 calamitous years of a Hillary Clinton presidency, whereas if Trump wins, he will be the de facto face of conservatism, which will no longer be conservatism. It will be liberal, it'll be National Socialism is what it would be. And then conservatism will have been dealt a potentially fatal setback, which is absolutely true. This argument assumes that America can survive another 4 years of Democrat rule. Well, and there's the rub. See, I phrase it this way. We'll get to Caruso's take in a moment, but I look at it this way. I'm sorry, I just cannot abide the fear-mongering, and I don't understand how anybody can live a happy and healthy life in a state of constant self-induced fear. Even put aside the fear-mongering, how can you live that way being, oh no, oh, we can't survive? Oh, shut up. I am not going to live my life in fear. I am not going to sacrifice my principles to fear. Which makes it ironic that it was a Democrat president who said the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Prager's approach is preferable to that of the Trumplicans, as I refer to them, who think bullying is the way to go, which is, well, yeah, that's real effective. They'll routinely call never-Trumpers traitors, cuckservatives, oh, the irony. Or accuse them of supporting Hillary and the left. I get that from Trumplicans all the time on social media. It's a weak tactic used by people with weak minds who cannot make a cogent argument, or are simply trolls. Now, some people will mistake what Prager writes as an attempt to persuade. It isn't. He's being subtle, but really what he's doing, and what others like him rely on, is attempting to shame others into agreeing with him. I got that on the last few episodes of Constitution Radio. I got that constantly. I mean, before I left politicalpistachio.com, Doug and I went at it in the comments of some of his posts and some of my posts on Trump, and including Doug accusing me of insane, irrational hatred of Trump, which is a left-wing tactic, like there's no legitimate reason to oppose Donald Trump. But it's the same idea. Well, Hillary makes Satan look like Jesus Christ. Hillary's terrible. Hillary is awful. Hillary's from the pit itself. Well, don't die! I can't live that way. And I'm not going to live that way. And I'm not going to forfeit my principles on the altar of fear any more than I'm going to be bullied into doing so either. I'm not going to be manipulated. My principles used to be your principles, Trump supporters. You're the ones that threw him overboard. You're the ones that did it. You don't care what your Cheeto Jesus stands for. You don't care that he's a liberal Democrat. You don't care that he's as corrupt, if not more corrupt, than Hillary Clinton. You don't care that he's mentally irregular. None of that matters to you. You people don't stand for anything anymore. You are very reminiscent, Trump supporters, of Obama supporters from 2008 and 2012. Especially 2008. You are personality cultists. You have sold out, and it doesn't even matter to you. Nothing matters to you. But your demigod, your cult leader, that's all that you stand for anymore, is Donald Trump. And I cannot stomach idolatry, and I will not abide it, and I will not support it, and I will not have any part in it. One of these two hideous individuals, one of these two pieces of human garbage is going to be in the White House. But I'm not going to help either one of them get there. And neither should any of you. I tell you, if ever there was a time, and it's not going to be this time, don't get me wrong. I'm a realist, remember? But if ever there was a time for an opening, a window for a third party, 2016 was it. But it's not going to happen. But I mean, or to just get the serious ball rolling of we need more choices than this. I mean, if anything could discredit the duopoly conclusively, it would be 2016. And it really should. Just get the ball rolling. Because this is just pathetic. Almost as pathetic as Trump supporters. Under any of the 2 or 3 umbrellas. One thing I've learned from being involved in politics for 35 years, 36 years actually, is every presidential election is the most important presidential election in our lifetime. Ah! How many times have you heard from either a Republican or a Democrat the words, "Our future hangs in the balance"? Usually in direct or in inverse proportion to the quality of the candidates on the ballot. I mean, the country wasn't supposed to, and this is, I'm just going to tell you, because it's true. And I'm saying all this in the most important election of our lifetime, America can't survive. It's like, I've engaged in that kind of rhetoric myself, although I didn't put a definite time frame on it. What I said after Barack Obama was reelected in 2012 was the old American Republic is dead. The collapse is now inevitable. It's just a question of when. I never put a date on it. It's like the rapture. You don't put a date on it. And nobody knows except the Father. You know, the day and the hour and the minute and the second. But that's what Trumplians are trying to do here. Oh, the country can't survive 4 years of Hillary Clinton. Well, the fact of the matter is, the country wasn't supposed to survive one Obama term, and it did. And it wasn't expected to survive a second term. Yet, here we are. And then Caruso goes on to point out some other things the country has survived, like a civil war, World War I, the First Great Depression, the current Great Depression, World War II, the fight against the Nazis, the fight against Imperial Japan at the same time, the Cold War, the Vietnam War, Watergate, 9/11. The country has survived a lot of things. And the suggestion that I am supposed to cower in fear over the prospect of a Hillary Clinton presidency and should run to cast a vote for a fraud like Donald Trump when the country has faced much worse is absurd. Again, stow the fear-mongering and quit trying to convince me that Hillary Clinton makes Jesus Christ look like, or Satan look like Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm not going to live my life that way. I'm not going to live my life in a state of constant, crazed terror. I mean, it really should say something about the candidate you're trying to put over, you're trying to sell. That number one, the only thing you can say about that candidate is screw the other candidate. And using such emotionally manipulative tactics. Fear-mongering is just as bad in its own way as bullying. Bullying is just, vote for my guy or I'm going to kill you, or whatever. Being coercive. I mean, do you people have anything other than lies and coercion and manipulation? Give me one convincing, substantive argument for Donald Trump. I know all about Hillary Clinton. Everybody knows all about Hillary Clinton. 25 years she's been on the national stage. Nobody doesn't know who and what Hillary Clinton is. I don't need to be told. I don't need to be convinced not to vote for Hillary Clinton. I'm not voting for her. I never will vote for her. But give me one sound, rational, calm, substantive, persuasive reason to vote for Donald Trump. Even one. I've yet to hear one. And it's never going to come from Donald Trump's own mouth because he's a liar. He's saying what you people want to hear. There is no such argument. And since he can't win, then a vote for him would literally be throwing away your principles for nothing because he'd be throwing your vote away at the same time. Remember, the state I live in, Washington. Hillary Clinton is going to carry Washington State. Period. Regardless. The Democrat, whoever had been nominated, if Marco Rubio had been the Republican nominee, Hillary Clinton would still have carried Washington. Well, wouldn't a vote for Rubio be wasting your vote because it doesn't make any difference? Yeah, but I could have voted for Marco Rubio in good conscience because Marco Rubio is a conservative Republican, not a perfect one. But this isn't about perfection. This isn't about purity. This is about the survival of the Republican Party. This is about the survival of conservatism itself. Donald Trump's not a conservative. He's a big government liberal. Why? So how are you stopping a liberal Democrat in Hillary Clinton by voting for another liberal Democrat named Donald Trump, who just happens to have an R after his name? Why would you want your fingerprints on either one of them? Mine never will be. And you cannot make an argument to convince me to decide or vote otherwise. But I get it. I get the pull. I said this months ago. I get the pull of partisan. What's the term I coined for that? Partisan centrifugal force. You know, the gravity well of tribalism. I understand that. Going back to the spring, I never claimed for one single solitary moment that never Trump was going to carry the day. I knew we were going to be a small remnant. That's just the way tribalism works. But for those of us who actually take our principles seriously and realized that both parties had lost their minds. Usually, the Democrats lost their minds decades ago. Now the GOP has lost its collective mind as well. We knew at that point that just when the country needed saving, needed resurrecting the most, the Republican Party, 40% of the Republican nominating electorate decided to just leave it in the grave. So we knew we were in the minority. We knew we were in the wilderness. We're going to be there for a long, long time, if not, let's just say indefinitely. We knew that. But there's something to be said for not cooperating in the country's demise. And as I say, I live in Washington. Hillary Clinton would carry Washington regardless. No matter who her opponent was, she would have carried Washington. So why throw away my vote voting against Hillary by throwing away my principles and voting for Donald Trump? I made this argument to Doug on the air on KMET. Doug and Alex Ferguson, who, despite being a generation older than Mr. Gibbs, follows along behind him like a puppy dog. Whatever you say, Doug. Whatever you say, Doug. Pity you didn't listen to me. But, yeah, you could say that's abusing the elderly. But regardless, it's a fiasco. But again, fear-mongering, manipulation, that's all Trump supporters have. And they know they're wrong, but they won't admit it. They've invented straw men. They have managed to make Hillary Clinton into a straw man. The actual Hillary Clinton is bad enough, but they had to create a straw man of her, a ridiculously exaggerated caricature, which I didn't think, A, was possible, and B, would ever be necessary. But that's what they've had to do in order to try to rationalize a vote for Donald Trump. I have no desire to engage in such dishonest mental gymnastics and self-delusion. I don't. That Kool-Aid will never pass never Trump lips, is the bottom line. And besides, we get back to the fact that nominating Trump guaranteed President Hillary. So it's all on you people. It's not on us. As for the probable Hillary Clinton presidency, those of us who decided our conscience couldn't fathom voting for Trump are not to blame. Again, I reiterate. 14 million people looked at a group of candidates that included accomplished conservative governors such as Rick Perry and Scott Walker. It included dynamic conservative senators such as Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, and Rand Paul. I don't know about Rand Paul, but even the lower echelon of candidates, Jeb Bush, John Kasich, and even Chris Christie, were preferable to a reality show carnival barker. Yet, in classic adult temper tantrum form, those people chose the carnival barker. A man with zero principles, liberal Democrat instincts, no moral background, corrupt as Hillary, and a political philosophy that echoes the sounds of a whoopee cushion. Well, there's a reason why one of my nicknames for Trump is Il Douche. They made the choice. You made the choice, Trump supporters. It's your decision with which to live. People may find those of us who remain never Trump to be distasteful, which we wear as a badge of honor, actually. But for many of us, never means never. And sometime, might be November, December of this year, or spring of next year, all you Trump supporters are going to be, it'll start as a trickle, but eventually the vast majority of you will offer up your mea culpas, and you will say, I was wrong, I repent of my sins, please take us back. Maybe we'll take it under advisement.